Darville was in charge of the crops, and his mother was in charge of the meat. She would go out into the woods periodically, and she would bring back some meat. And Darville didn't question it. He didn't ask where it came from. He just ate it, and that's how he grew up for 11 years, until the 1890 census came, and somebody walked up on this property, and they saw Darville being taught the dark magic from his mother Tinsel. So they came back with the sheriff and many police. And the sheriff surrounded the place, and they were immediately able to arrest Tinsel. Now, Darville had never seen another human being before in his life, so he was in shock. And it turns out that many people had went missing in that area, and the theory was that the meat that Tinsel provided Darville was human meat. Although Tinsel never admitted it and Darville never accepted it, they thought that Darville was not Tinsel's child at all. They thought that he was the child of the family that did live at that house. So he took Tinsel off to prison. And because Darville was 11, he was sent off to a mental institution. He had to go see a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of psychiatrists. And after a while, you know, they didn't have very good reports on him. He couldn't handle people. He couldn't handle groups of people because his whole life he had been taught he and his mother were the only two people on earth. So he was mainly by himself. After several years, though, they finally shipped him off to the orphanages. He didn't make any friends. He scared all the other kids. He was an odd person. He scared the staff. And they found out that the only thing that he liked to do was crafts. So they taught him many things, how to sew, how to craft things. And whenever he was 21, they released him. And they gave him the house that they were found in. But he had no intention of staying there. For all of those years being in the orphanage, he had only plotted revenge. He wanted to have his fun with these people that thought they too were human like him. And in Darville's absence, the town didn't have a name when he left, but now it was named Pig, Kentucky. And in Darville's opinion, the pig that they named the town after was probably one of his. They said it was just a rogue pig that came through town one day. So he believed that he owned this town. So when he got home, he reconstructed all of the Funn Men. He dressed up as Mister Funn Man because Mister Funn Man would have the last laugh. And he was on his way to the town whenever he heard a scream. He runs back. And that day, the police come to his house, and a murder had occurred. And he was a prime suspect. They couldn't link him to the crime, but they told him not to leave. And then a couple days later, it happened again. And then again, and then again. And Darville couldn't understand why all of these things were happening, and everybody was looking at him. So one night, he said, I'm going to do it anyway. So he got his scarecrow costume on, and he went to the town. So hiding in the shadows, he was waiting for his chance to take his revenge out on someone. And then there was another scream. Another body was found. And Darville took off running back to his house. But in that process, somebody saw him. Everybody was already tense, all of the deaths that had been going on. And they shot at him, and they shot at him, and he was hit in the side. And in his scarecrow costume, he ran back to his property, and everybody watched. They could see the trail of blood, and they knew exactly where that trail of blood went. And there was a mob of people that had already gathered. The police couldn't stop them. They wanted revenge, and he decided he was going to hide up on a scarecrow post. He was innocent. He had actually not done anything. So he climbed up on the scarecrow post, and he hoped that he would survive the night long enough to prove his innocence. But he did not survive. He died that night. And it took until the next day before the mob of people were able to find him. And they confirmed his death, and they just left him there to rot. And that was going to be the end of Darville Funn and the Funn family in Pig, Kentucky. But they were completely wrong. Check back next video, guys, for the third part of Mister Funn Man. I'm Michael. I'm a sheriff today. we have Mikey, the doctor slash psychiatrist slash nurse, whatever you want it to be. We're on the Green River here in Kentucky. We always tell kind of stories this time of year. Me and Mikey just went to a film festival, had a good time. And we got 50 hooks out here in the water. We're trying to catch some fish. Last video we didn't do that good. It's still cold. You know, just wish us some luck. We got live bait and some cut bait. So. All right, guys, we got 13 hooks right here. Trot line with 10 hooks and 3 limb lines. All small pieces of cut bait and small live bait. Trying to remember a story, guys. Obviously, we all work on this channel. This is kind of just something we just come out here and do in the afternoons. I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare, but we'll have a film called Mister Funn Man coming out soon. And there's also a couple other videos by Johan, my cousin. You'll just have to find them. They're on YouTube, I think.
Come on. Oh, I know there's a fish on this one.
You think there's a fish on that one?
Oh, yeah. Come on. Is there a fish? Oh, that's silly. It was the wind. I was so excited because it moved.
I started to bet you. Then
what about that one?
I don't know. I don't see anything obvious.
Yeah.
But
yeah, don't bet me.
Reagan had a big monster and he wasn't moving at all. Just give it a little tug.
No.
The big fish are going to bite, guys. I could be wrong. I could be. Once or twice I've been wrong.
That one's wanting to move, but that one just psyched me out. Oh, yeah, that one's, look, it's twitching.
It's hard to tell, really. It does kind of have a bobble about it, but the limb itself, wait.
Nope.
I think there is a fish on that one. Oh, yeah, there's a fish. All right, that net back there is very important. All right, we did not get skunked. It's an ugly old catfish, but that right there definitely made my day.
Me too. Because I was like, that first one, I really thought there was a fish. If it was a dead fish again, I'd been so sad.
Nah, you would have felt it as well.
Woo!
All right, guys, we have a fish. Hey, we got some mail here.
Hey!
This came from, she probably knows who exactly it is. We haven't been doing mail Mondays because basically we haven't been getting that much mail.
Oh, he even put my first in my middle. I appreciate you, Jeff.
Who is it?
So I'll just shout him out right now because he's actually a really cool guy. His name's Jeff. He actually does a lovely, lovely, lovely organization called Gifted Kicks. You all should check it out on Instagram. Basically what happens is he takes shoes and he refurbishes them for people. And if you just follow it, super dope concept. Really enjoy talking with him. He's a great guy out of San Francisco area. He does a little bit of everything, but he's been getting into his apparel. And he told me he had some new stuff coming out. And he sure does. Yay! I love it.
Let's at least show it, and then maybe she'll wear it on one of her photo shoots or something. I don't know.
I'll wear it out. I already told him, hell yeah, I'm going to promote you. But yeah. So I love this.
Let's see, we're kind of in the dark here. Let me get us out of the dark, actually.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Oh, that's so cute.
All right, hold that one up. Maybe I can get that one.
This one?
Or does it say Gifted Kicks?
Yeah. So I'll pull it out. Oh, I love it. Have like a little slogan here. Cool. Have a little bit of a sticker. And then I'm excited about the long sleeve because it's getting cold here.
Yeah,
so,
it is somewhat cold out here on the water.
Did he give me a long? Nope, he gave me a short, but Gifted Kicks.
Gifted Kicks, guys. Check it out on Instagram. I like when people send stuff. You know, if you're doing something admirable, we're going to shout you out every single time.
Absolutely.
So. All right, we got 3 trot lines to check and 6 more limb lines. So
sweet.
We caught a fish though, so I'm happy. Now the monkey's off our back. We're going for the big ones again.
All right, here you go.
Ooh. Got any big Halloween plans?
I'm going to one of my friend's kickbacks that I went to the previous year, and that was a hell of a time. I had 15 Patron shots, and I was totally fine until I had a spiked cider, and then I was taken out. So I plan to go to the kickback, but I plan to be appropriate this time.
Appropriate.
And then, hilariously enough, for Halloween Day, I'm going to be taking my best friend's children trick-or-treating in my neighborhood, because my neighborhood actually is pretty big in Louisville. So I plan to take the kiddos out.
Yeah, I figured I have a little neighborhood, and no one ever comes to my neighborhood.
Really?
It's a good one too. When I was a kid, it would have been like the place, because it's no traffic. There's plenty of houses side by side.
Absolutely.
It just is probably not the nicest side of town.
The trot line is kind of stuck.
Should be good.
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, no, there's I can tell you easily, there's about 300 people out there.
Oh, well, mine's more like 20.
Yeah.
But it's still a good street to stop on, guys, and I usually have candy.
I'm going to have a candy bowl out there, but I'm going to fight somebody if they try to take the candy bowl, because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But the kiddos, I'm really excited to take them, because I have never actually been out with children for trick-or-treating, so I'm really excited.
Really?
Yeah.
I always think it's fun. Now, obviously, I like the scariness of it. Now that my son's a teenager,
yeah,
it's a lot cooler.
Oh, yeah.
My son can go to a haunted house with me. You know, it's definitely different. Feel anything?
Yeah, there's something that's kind of tugging, but I don't know if it's from the wind current.
Yeah, this line is weird, because it's one of those uneven rivers where one side's real deep and one side's not. So when you pick the line up, sometimes the sinkers will swing.
Yeah, I don't know yet, so I just feel like something's unusual about it. So hopefully there's a fish. Yeah. Fingers crossed. But there's something that's eating bait, so that's good.
Oh yeah. Tell me if you see a single piece of bait.
I will.
So far, we caught a fish. Last video, it was just one line after the other. Of course, we haven't been skunked all year. That was the first time. So you know, I wouldn't care to end kind of at a slow down, but I still feel like we got a good hot streak coming.
Yeah.
And we cannot reschedule. We only have 2 more weeks of before they start letting those 3 lakes out. And when they do that, I want my boat out of the river.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
So we got, now you guys will be seeing them through Halloween, but about 2 weeks we'll be pulling out.
See, it's getting easier to pull up, so I feel like...
I don't see anything obvious.
Yeah.
This line has not exactly been tearing it up anyway, but...
Yeah, no.
We are almost certain that the gar are absolutely tearing it up right now. But we did catch a little fish. Now, most of the hooks and the good bait was on the next 2 lines and the next 6 limb lines, so... Those of you on YouTube, thanks for following. Think about following us on Patreon at least through Halloween. But if not, we'll see you next time.
You're gonna miss out. Have fun.
Well, I believe it all started whenever I was 6 years old, and I was watching cartoons.
How did it make you feel?
Well, at that time, I felt like the world could never live up to Ren and Stimpy.